Documentaries. History. Insights. Interviews. Sheps Deep Dive.
Welcome to Sheps Deep Dive. And today I've got a guest. It's Ken. And guess what? He's brought his wife along as well. My sister-in-law, Lindsay. Thank you very much for turning up.
I'm back again.
Oh, and they brought the dog as well, Ripley.
Yeah, she's annoying the out me. Down. Right, we'll be alright. She'll settle. She'll settle in a minute. She gets really annoying. I'll put her in a cage.
Yeah.
The dog.
Oh yeah. You reckon?
And ladies and gentlemen, you heard this before. Ken was married for 5 seconds before. He's not. So Ken and Lindsay have come on today and they picked a film which, to be honest, I completely forgot about doing as a podcast until Ken brought it up. One of Lindsay's as well. It's Psycho.
Am I acting as if there's something wrong?
She's not missing so much as she's run away.
Put me down. Mother! Oh, God! Mother!
What are you running away from?
She looked like a wrong one to you?
It's not as if she were a maniac. She just goes a little mad sometimes.
Why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
The original. So, Lindsay, tell the listeners, why is it you picked Psycho?
I absolutely love this film. I always have done. I just love the whole feel of it. It's so classy, a film. Classy to watch it. And the story's just great. I've always loved it, haven't I?
Yeah. It's one of our favourites we can always put on, we must watch it about 3 times a year, I reckon.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
At least 3 times a year.
Nice relaxing movie.
Yeah.
It is.
A Christmas Eve movie, I always think.
Oh, yeah.
I think actually one New Year's Eve we did put it on.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, because there was nothing on telly. You know, where you set up a Jules Holland.
Yeah, you stick that on. Just before Mum rings at 12 or me.
Yeah.
You stop us watching Psycho. Yeah.
I remember ringing you once, and it was just after 12 on New Year's Eve. There's fireworks and shit going off, and you're like, I'm halfway through watching the film, so that must have been it.
Yeah. Don't disturb us watching Psycho, please.
Or you'll turn psycho.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't want me turning up in your bathroom.
Oh dear, I do actually. So, can you remember? Can you remember the first time you seen it?
Ooh,
or at least what prompted you to watch it when you was younger?
Well, my dad has always watched horror films. I've been brought up watching horror films, so it just seems perfectly natural. Like all I've ever done from growing up is to relax or chill out and just put on a horror movie, That's how I've been brought up.
That's crazy because it's more or less parallels me and Ken, isn't it, Ken?
I didn't have much choice of what I watched when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because I had an older, narcissistic big brother.
Have we got another brother?
Who I had to share a room with. So, I had to watch everything he wanted to watch.
So just for listeners to know, he's talking about me.
Yeah.
Just in case.
But we didn't really have a choice when Dad came to films, did we? Because he loved his horror as well.
Yeah, I think
Loved
that's
his
where
horror.
the originality of watching horror films came from was from Dad. I think like if you was off sick from school one day and Dad was babysitting, he'd put, well, not babysitting because obviously he's just looking after us. He'd put a horror film on rather than say like Wind in the Willows or
Yeah, definitely. You sit watching Hammer Horror, or I remember watching Shining with Dad, age 12.
Oh, wow.
12. You know what? And the weird thing is, parents have this thing that they'll forward the nuddy or the set scenes, but they won't forward the gruesome scenes. They'll just tell you what's coming. Do you remember that? Dad would say, whoa, what's coming? Whoa, look out, what's coming. Which ruins the joy and the shock. And then they'll just forward through the sets, goes, oh, that's inappropriate. What about the slashing? What about the shooting in the face? That's not inappropriate.
Well, none of it got forwarded for me. It was fine. Just watch it. It's okay. No warning. No, I'll be scared to death. Couldn't sleep at night, but no, it'd be fine.
So do you know much about the production of this film?
Yeah, because obviously the film is based on the book, which I've actually just read this week. The book itself is based on, was heavily influenced by the serial killer Ed Gein.
Yeah.
Who he'd been kind of caught 2 years before, hadn't he? And I think the author is, the Robert Bloch, he lived not too far away from where Ed Gein lived, I think. So
I know, and can you imagine that in your head, that it only happened down round the corner?
Yeah, round the corner. Some guy lining his chairs with someone else's skin, as you do.
Yeah, well, I heard that they got a lot from him, and it's funny because his storyline influenced so many other films as well, didn't they? The production of it, I read as well, is Alfred Hitchcock. Even though he had such a large body of work behind him, he couldn't get it off the ground. So he bought the rights for the book for $10,000, which back then is still a stupid large amount of money. But he bought it for $10,000, went to Paramount after getting the screenplay done, and Paramount more or less said, fuck off. I ain't doing that. No way. You can't have a woman, a lead protagonist in the film, dying halfway through. It doesn't work. You can't have it. It's too rude. It's got to be X-rated. Because at first, they didn't realise as well he was going to go down the route and make it black and white. And then he said, right, I'll fund it, you distribute it. So they was like, okay, this ain't going to go very well. And he signed a contract with them, but I think he got something like 60% of the takings, because they thought this ain't going to do very well for him. This fat bastard coming over here, trying to make all our films, is it? Come over here.
Coming over here.
So he made it black and white for two reasons. One, budget, but the other sense is if he made it colour, it would have got an X rating, and he didn't want that. Because can you imagine a shower scene with it being colour? It'd be like a Quentin Tarantino movie, wouldn't it? With blood everywhere.
Yeah, it wouldn't be as ill though, would it? It wouldn't be as interesting, I think, if the whole movie was in colour, especially the shower scene.
Yeah, well, he did do the remake. Have you seen the remake?
No, but I've seen clips of it, but it just doesn't seem right. Even when you watch like Psycho 2 and the the sequels, because it's not black and white, it doesn't have the same atmospheric presence.
Yeah.
There, because you kind of concentrate more when a film is black and white.
I think you can see more detail, can't you, when things are black and white? Same with photography.
I think
things just look better.
More.
Yeah.
I think you're concentrating more because it is black and white.
And he uses that a lot within this film to show goodness and evil. There's a brilliant part right from the beginning. I know we'll go into it, but the part at the beginning where she's getting changed, where the actual people watching it, is us, become the voyeur and watching her getting changed. She's in white. And then afterwards, when she's nicked the money, she turns black clothes. Even
a bag, she starts off with a white bag, and then the bag that she uses, she changes to a black bag as well.
Oh, very good. That's a good one. I didn't notice that.
But yeah.
Well, let's move into the film then. So a quick one of the numbers. The budget cost $806,000, and most of that was out of his pocket. Box office smash hit of $50 million. In today's money, from all that time ago in 1960, you're probably looking over 200 million for a film. It's like an MCU film.
Wow.
And that's amazing. That's a massive juggernaut of a hit.
I think it helped that there was a lot of hype kind of created for the film, wasn't there, beforehand? Because it was like, you can't tell anyone the ending. You wouldn't let people walk in the cinemas late, apparently. So you had to be there before it started.
Yeah.
You didn't want any of the plot being missed. So I think probably all that, it probably built up to people wanting to go see it. What's all the fuss about kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that must have helped.
So is it like the first film that's had like a bit of a propaganda to see it sort of thing?
Yeah.
Like make sure you don't tell anyone the ending. Like if you go see Mousetrap, the on theatre, they always say make sure you don't tell people the ending because it's different each time.
Yeah.
You go see it, so that builds sort of like a promotional material in itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think Alfred Hitchcock was a marketing genius because he brought out a trailer for the film, which is over 6.5 minutes long, the trailer, and there's not a bit of the film in it. You can't really see parts of the film at all.
What, on the trailer?
Sorry?
What, in the trailer? There's none of that footage in the film?
No, there's none of the footage.
Right.
So the actual 6.5 minutes original trailer was just him walking around the set, Alfred Hitchcock, and telling you about the set and telling you what happens at these sets. But the way he does it, it makes it like a documentary. So good.
That's clever.
So him doing that clever idea of making a mockumentary of his own film is brilliant.
Yeah, that is genius, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Bit like Ken, genius.
Yeah.
Right, let's get on to the film now. So opening part of the film, one of the best, beautiful open shots of Arizona and how it shows how it swoops over. Now you could tell like there's multiple edits and multiple cameras doing that, but you become looking at the city, and then all of you become your own peeping Tom, don't you? How he even glides the camera underneath to even let you look what's happening in this dark little room during the day, and it's already told you the date and the time.
Yeah.
It's a time to think, whoa, they shagging during the day or what? And that's what he wants.
Afternoon delight.
Well, you kind of get the impression that it's kind of, it's maybe wrong. Maybe it's like an affair or something when you first see it because is he married or is she married?
Yeah.
Obviously, is there some sort of affair going on because it's midday? It's a strange time for couples to meet apart from being sneaky.
Yeah.
But then it starts to slowly come out like why are they meeting through the day? Unfortunately he's got money troubles.
The ex-wife
and his dad's debts and stuff like that. And it's kind of a weird thing because like you say, you are becoming that voyeur because as soon as you see her, she's in a bra and you're thinking, oh,
oh, do you?
Oh, it's a bra. Imagine if we were watching it with like my mum, she'd be like, oh, cup of tea. You want a cup of tea now?
Oh.
She'd be all flustered.
She'll be like that to Dad. And she don't call him Dad, does she? We go, Cliff, forward it.
Forward it.
Or she'll talk over it, like, so how's your day?
Don't look at the bra.
In the 1950s or 1960 when it came out, it might have been a bit like,
a bit risque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for the first shot, the first scene.
I think in the 60s, so you probably had a big change within cinema at that time. I think people started to really test or push the boundaries. And again, because it's black and white, it feels more 1940s film, doesn't it? The whole style of it could be easy 1940s. It's like it's harping back to a golden age of cinema, 1930s, 1940s. It's only because of the technology around you, I think it's 60s. And even then, when I first watched it, I thought it was 1950s, only because of the cars they're using.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I mean, if this was a 1970s film, it would probably be more a exploitation, wouldn't it? And should have a breast out rather than having in a bra. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
it does test the water and push the boundary, but I think to nowadays you can see it on BBC Two during the day probably.
Yeah. No one would bat an eyelid.
Yeah. But it does start that sort of like relationship you have with the main character. I think
It's quite a private, personal thing to see, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, and I think you instantly like her though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think you feel sorry for her more than anything.
Yeah, when you realise the situation and the problems he's got and why they're not together officially. Yeah, you do feel sorry for her, definitely. She's trying to pinch every bit of time she can to be with him just because he's there. She's there on a dinner hour, from work. It's
It is also on when I watched it twice, so once last week and once this morning, and I don't know if it's because you get older and you own life experiences, but when you're watching it, you're sort of looking and going, you know what, she goes out of her way a lot for this guy. How much would he have just kept dragging it on if she wouldn't have done what happens next? You know what I mean? He doesn't look like the one to get things going. He's just like, yeah, gone there for afternoon shag. I wonder what's in his mind to go, because she really goes out of her way to do something which crosses all boundaries.
I think the book explains that better, doesn't it? I think remember you saying
that's in the book. He isn't. He hasn't been married, so there's no ex-wife to be paying off. But it does explain all his debt, that he inherited the hardware store from his father, and which also gave him all the debts. And he doesn't want to be married to her because he doesn't want her kind of lumbered with these debts as well. He wants to get it paid off so they do things properly. And he's actually living in the back of the hardware store, and he doesn't want that for her. He sees her as a lot better than that. So the book kind of, it does explain it a bit more, and you kind of understand what he's doing. He's doing it right, where she's kind of worrying about her age and, the clock's ticking kind of thing, and she wants his debts paid off, hence her taking the risk that she does do.
Wow, see, the differences in the book. See, that explained it a lot better then.
Yeah,
but then again,
it makes more sense.
He's only got you probably only see that scene for 2 or 3 minutes. He's got a lot to convey in those 2-3 minutes, hasn't he? So she goes back to the office, doesn't she? And then that's probably when you meet that. Is that rich tycoon guy?
Yeah, he's a ride knobhead, don't he?
Yeah. He's just asking to be ripped off, isn't he?
Yeah, look at all my money. This is my money to buy that house for his daughter or something like that.
Yeah, it's for his daughter.
Is it 40,000 or 30,000?
40,000.
$40,000, flashing the cash about in your face. If someone did that to you, you'd be like, and you want me to take that to the bank?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm off.
Yo, he's doing it. I can see that. That's what Alfred Hitchcock wants you to think. He needs you to be on the side of what she's about to do.
Yeah.
He is rubbing it in her face because he's trying it on with her as well, isn't he? Because he drops sexual innuendos all the way through it. He's like, I can buy happiness. In other words, I can buy some for sets or whatever he needs to do. But Alfred Hitchcock has to strongly convey the nastiness of which he is. Because if it was some bloke, normal guy, just handing her some money, like I've had handed money from work when I used to work as an office junior. I got like a wad of cash, and I was asked, can you go and take that to the bank, Cliff, and sort this out for us and sort that out? Now, that happens in banks all the time and offices all the time, all over the place. But he needed you to be invested that what she's doing isn't wrong, in inverted commas. What she's still doing, whether it's from a nice guy, whether it's from a nasty guy, is wrong. But he needs you to be on the side of the wrong. It's very cleverly done.
Yeah, it's clever.
It is clever. I think it's just if you had an opportunity like that, you have that like angel and devil on your shoulder, and for a split second you might think, oh, I'll take that. I'll just take that. But then you'll instantly regret it, and she does instantly regret it.
Yeah, pretty soon after.
Time. I think it's just that you have opportunities in life like that where you think, oh, should I do that? And then you regret not doing it, or you regret doing it. It's one of those situations I always find.
Yeah,
like you say, because he is such a nasty guy, you're not really bothered that she's doing it.
Exactly.
Like say,
She's very clever.
You're up for her, aren't you? You're like,
yeah.
good on you. Yeah.
And then she gets the car and stuff, and she's driving off, and the paranoia's setting in, isn't it?
Oh,
exactly,
yeah.
That's the little devil on the shoulder thing, isn't it? And the angel, but her conscience is taking over now. It's like trying to think of excuses why I've done it.
Yeah, she has these conversations going on, and it's just all in her mind, isn't it? It's so cleverly done. How she just starts to doubt the decision she's made, and especially after she sees her boss cross the road in front of her car. That's just brilliant. And the music that starts then, so you can tell you feel anxious. You do panic. Watching it. It's like, oh God, your boss just walked past.
But it is right though. If you see someone you're not expecting, you will smile, and then you'll think, why have I just seen that person, or that they shouldn't be there at that time. Yeah. And you feel for her, and she smiles, and then she just sort of like shits herself, and it's like, oh.
Then she starts to worry, and then she starts to feel.
And you do as well watching it.
You start to panic for her.
The music changes as well. The music starts drumming along with her panic to increase your heart rate. And then there's a strange scene. Does she sleep in the car, doesn't she, or something? And then that policeman. How freaky is that? Because
it winds me up that bit. It makes me. I feel like screaming to stop being rude to him. Just be nice, be calm, and it'll be all right. But she makes such an ordeal out of it that you would suspect her, wouldn't you? You would follow her afterwards. You know, it's awful to watch that whole scene. It's just horrific. Just calm down, love. I'm screaming when I'm watching it. Calm down, be nice.
If I don't wake you up with a cup of coffee, you know, you're a bit Jekyll and Hyde-ish. So, you know, if she's just been woken up by a copper banging on the window, you're going to be a bit
without a coffee.
Without a coffee.
Yeah.
You know, you get a little bit like, oh, hey, oh, steady. What's he doing here?
Piss off.
It's not illegal to sleep in your car.
No, but she's just, I don't know.
You got to look at it. You got to look at on the way it shows. It's a woman in a car in the middle of nowhere, and she fell asleep in the car. So on the cop's side, if you look at it on a cop, it's in his interest to follow her, thinking, is there something wrong? Is she trying to escape from somewhere? Where is she going? Yeah, and I think the same as Lindsay. She should have been on point a bit more. She should have just says, yeah, I've drove a long way, been a bit more upbeat, and she would have got away with it a little bit more. But he just fucks off anyway, though, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he turns up again.
He does, but he turns up once
she's changing the car, and again she acts all dodgy, keeps turning around, looking at him, and it's like, oh, just awful. can't bear watching it.
She's on this path of meeting odd characters like the cop, and then she goes and meets the car salesman, and he's a bit of a
slime.
He's not very overly pleasant at first.
I think he's just not used to someone being that forceful on him. I mean, he's a car salesman. They're meant to talk you into buying this car, and she's just like, just give me that car. Which you would be a bit like, you don't even want to haggle.
Yeah.
There was none of that. It was just like, yeah, I'll have it. Let me go to the toilet and get me money. You know, come on.
You might have it in your bra.
Pointy bra, hence the pointiness.
Oh, you want it in the bra. That's where I put mine.
So after this, and after she swapped the car over, it starts pissing down with rain.
Oh, it's awful, yeah. I mean, we all drove in rain like that. It's absolutely scary. It's scary driving in rain like that. And I bet in those days, you know, because it's not power steering and stuff, you got, and the windscreen wipers aren't as good.
They don't look as good.
I bet it gets
ours.
steamed up a lot as well.
Yeah.
In those cars.
It didn't look like it did.
It didn't look like it did. But the shot of it, as the rain got worse and it got darker, that's really, really interesting how they did that, I think.
And the camera kind of gets closer on her face, doesn't it? Yeah.
And because when you're driving in rain like that, you are sort of like, you're straining, aren't you, to concentrate, because you're going at like 50, 60 miles an hour, whatever speed you're going. You got that bouncing rain on your windshield. And it's quite a scary thing, that. So I'd be like, I'd do the same as them. in the words, in a certain phrase, pull off the road.
So when it gets scary, you just pull off.
It's good. Yeah.
I was just sleeping. On the side of the road.
Kleenex stuck to your head. So of all the places to pull off to, Ken, she goes to Bates Motel.
Well, you would too, wouldn't you? Wait, it's like a gift from the gods, isn't it? You know, you can't drive on any further, and then this motel sign appears. Like, this looks a gorgeous place.
It's like when you see like a Greg's in it.
I can't be arsed walking any further.
That'll be, or Greg's will be.
No.
Get some salad or something.
Oh, yeah.
Shut up! Now they've got drive-in Greg's. You keep going fucking round.
Driving Greg's, no?
What?
Is a driving Greg's?
No.
It is. So she arrives at this motel. It's not a hotel, is it? Motel.
Motel. Very clean. Oh, very clean.
Yeah, very clean.
No blood anywhere.
Very clean. And then you get the shot of the house, which is good. You see, she rings the bell because no one's in the office. So you get the first shot of the house, which is just. It's quite, like you say, it's very Hammer horror. It's quite hypnotic. You can't stop looking at it each time it's on screen.
Yeah, it's great.
It's by the artist, isn't it?
The house itself, if you look up an artist, Edward Hopper, he's done a painting called House by the Railroad, and that's what, if you look at the painting, it is exactly the house in Psycho. It's from the same angle, everything I showed you earlier, didn't I? It's brilliant. That's where the idea came from the house, and I can believe it because like I say, it looks exactly the same as the painting.
Oh, see, your missus comes with stuff, Ken.
With stuff.
What? I've got pull off and bra. What do you want?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sorry, Ken.
Brings the bar.
So is that also the point when she looks up at the house and she sees this silhouette figure? I can't remember.
No. I don't think so. I think she just sees him running down when she's pressed the bell. And he's
I don't know,
down
does she not see the figure?
Oh, I don't know.
I do, actually. Yeah, I'm sure Mother is visible.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And then...
eventually Norman comes down then, doesn't he?
I like Norman when he comes down.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's dead nice.
Yeah, he's lovely. Yeah.
You'd invite him for a brew.
You would do.
If he's your next door neighbour, it'd be kind of alright, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's dead sweet. Yeah.
Anthony Perkins, though, is a tremendous actor. Yeah, if you didn't know about the film and someone just watched it, you wouldn't think instantly that he was the killer, would you?
No, definitely not. No, I'd say he's quite a good-looking guy, isn't he? Like I say, he's well-mannered. He just seems a really nice guy, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's willing to help her out. And but there's little scenes in the first time they meet, and she's like writing in the book, and he's asking her questions, where you're from and stuff, and there's like little things where the camera's picking up on stuff, like the little things in his eyes, and like when she's writing in the registration book, and just little things there, and you're thinking, what's going on there? What is he? But then he must see loads of people all the time and pick up on stuff. Like they're not telling the true story of why they're there. And...
Yeah, you get the impression he doesn't believe her from the off, don't you? She is, and
you think the way the camera works is it uses his eyes at one point, doesn't it? So it moves from what he views her, and then it goes back to see what she's trying to, this false persona about herself, isn't she? So it's all fake what she's saying. But then he's probably seen so much, so he's doing his own like psychological observation about her. He seems to me, it comes across mild manners, but extremely clever as well. You know what I mean? There's something about him which is a clever guy. He looks at the way he looks, and did you see how the placement of the mirrors as well? There's a mirror as soon as she walks in there to the right. There's a mirror at the beginning. There's a mirror. There's always a mirror at a point where she had two choices to make. There's one in a room where the money's on the bed, and she's looking at the mirror, and she has a choice. Her doppelganger, her other person, her other self, could have gone one way, and on another parallel universe, she might have took the money back. She had that choice again in that hotel. That mirror's like an indication to say you could tell the truth. You could just get the hotel and take the money back. And she doesn't. She's again produces another false persona, another lie, another thing that makes her deeper into the criminal world.
Oh, nice.
It's only a little lie, though, isn't it? Telling you where you've come from.
Well, think
But
about the lie.
it's because she feels guilty, isn't it, that she's lying and carrying on. Otherwise, she'd just give her name and where she's from. But she can't do, can she?
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
I know, but why lie? She could have just said, like Ken said, the truth. There's no one looking at her for her at the moment.
Well, she's just not used to doing something bad, is she?
Exactly.
She's not used to breaking the law. So
yeah, so she's sinking
deeper.
deeper
You just
and
panic
deeper
and
into
go over the top.
into a web of lies, trying to cover each one up.
And just make it worse. Keep going.
And then Norman, such a lovely guy.
Oh, he's lovely.
There to look after her.
He invites her up for tea.
Yes, he does.
Does that go straight away? Yeah, he goes straight because he
shows her to a room, doesn't he, and says, "Are you hungry?" And
yeah, because she mentioned she's hungry. She asked for if there's any restaurants nearby, doesn't she? And he says it's like 10 miles away or whatever, isn't it? So he offers, he's just about to make something to eat for himself. Or why don't you join me?
Yeah.
And it's like, and he's lovely.
Would do, wouldn't he? He probably would do.
Yeah.
But would you go up to the house?
Yeah, you'd go up to the house.
Yeah, you wouldn't think anything of it.
Because you also got to look at the way he hangs himself, because he's a big guy in real life. I won't be surprised, but I'm not sure how tall he is. He's over 6 foot.
He must be
over 6 foot. Yeah.
But the way he hangs himself, it looks like she could get the better of him. Do you know what I mean? I suppose in her head, he's quite a mild-mannered person. Now, if it was me turning around to her, 6'3", shaved head, going, "Do you want to come up to my house and have a burger?"
Like, no, you're all right.
Cheese. I would like to see my cheese collection.
I've run out of cheese, but I'll make some.
Oh no!
But it does, doesn't it? The way his role is perfect, isn't it? Because he could go from one extreme to the next, and you believe every point within it. So he's taking quite a submissive role, isn't he?
I
he plays submissive.
His character
and then
seems to
dominate.
be very childlike, almost. Yeah. He's very innocent looking, isn't he? Even sometimes how he moves his head, how he like the chewing of the candy corn, or whatever he's chewing usually most of the time, and just little things like that just makes him very childlike. So you would naturally trust him, I suppose, because of that.
Yeah, definitely. And then you go into the house. He sits down in that room. Now, this room alone has been observed and essays written on time and time again. Just this.
What, the back of the office?
The one where he gives her a food and a cup of tea, and he's got the owl.
The back of the office, isn't it? Yeah. His mother says no to her coming up to the house.
That's it. There's a great, which I wanted to bring up. When he shows her to a room, the number 1 room, he brings a bag in. And he opens the window because he says, "Oh, it's a bit stuffy in here. I'll open the window." And you see a shot there up to the house. So you see the view from her room to the house, which I think he did on purpose, because in some sort of way in his mind, how his mind works, when he goes up to the house, he has the argument with Mother.
I won't have you bringing strange young girls in for supper. By candlelight, I suppose, in the cheap erotic fashion of young men with cheap erotic minds.
Mother, please.
And then what? After supper, music? Whispers?
Mother, she's just a stranger. She's hungry and it's raining out.
Mother, she's just a stranger. As if men don't desire strangers. As if... Oh, I refuse to speak of disgusting things because they disgust me. You understand, boy? Go on, go tell her she'll not be appeasing her ugly appetite with my food, or my son. Or do I have to tell her because you don't have the guts? Huh, boy? You have the guts, boy?
Shut up! Shut up!
I never thought about that. That's a top idea. Yeah, Ken. Yeah.
And it's like...
premeditated.
Premeditated.
Yeah. If he hadn't have opened the window.
If he hadn't opened the window, she wouldn't have heard the argument. And it sort of like makes her feel more sympathetic to him when he comes back down with the sandwich and the drink and stuff like that for her. I thought it was so clever, that bit.
That is like the first time I've really opened my to realise that bit. Just opening the window. Yeah, he's premeditated, even though he's his schizophrenia or the whatever it is at the end, where we'll go into it in a bit.
Yeah.
It shows at that point that it isn't it?
Yeah, it's
like he can't control it. He can control it. He needs her to hear that.
Exactly. He needs her to hear that, and that is such a crucial scene. Yeah. Because you feel sorry for him when he's coming back down the stairs with the sandwich, and it's like, oh, I'm really sorry.
He's all embarrassed, isn't he?
Yeah, he's dead embarrassed. It's really, really clever scene there.
And he goes into the back room and sits her on the couch, and he sits back. He doesn't even participate in eating, does he? He just seems to be observing her. Exactly like the birds around her, observing her. And she sits under, I think it's a raven, what she sits under. And what I've read about is the raven's famous for scrounging, like she being thief. And then he's sitting there and he's got, I think, either an eagle behind his head and he's definitely got an owl there. Yeah. Both of them are predators.
Because he calls her a little bird.
So she eats like a little bird.
Yeah.
So is he already thinking then?
Oh, yeah. I think he's already putting parts together in his head of how to conduct. I don't think it actually flips until within a few moments of something she says. Because
I mean, instantly, if I was in that room and the second he said he did this taxidermy stuff, I'm out of there. So that's just. But
I think because of the whole conversation, because you've already understood how controlling Mother is. It's like he needs some kind of hobby, and he kind of innocently explains it by saying, no, he doesn't kill the animals. People bring them to him, kind of, roadkills kind of things. Yeah. So again, you kind of think, well, yeah, you need to get away from Mother with the sound of her, Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just a bit odd. So.
But at that moment, I think a few things happen. So he's getting sympathy of her. He needs, and like you said, Ken, brilliant point. He needs her invested into the fact that he's innocent. Yeah. But also, I think at that point, whether he was thinking maybe I should kill her, maybe I not should kill her, the crucial bit comes is when she turns around to him and says,
"Wouldn't it be better if you put her someplace?"
You mean an institution? A madhouse?
And the way he answers her goes on to describe like the events like he's been there.
Yeah, it's like it's like a switch, that scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a sort of like something behind his eyes just switches, and you think, shit,
dear.
I'm getting out of here.
Don't cross the line. It's like a certain line he allows her to go to. Well, she sees that. She sees that.
She picks up on that pretty quickly, doesn't she?
Yeah, she kind of tries to backtrack a little bit, doesn't she?
Yeah. I mean, she was only thinking of his.
Yeah, just thinking of him, isn't she? She likes him.
Yeah, and saying, "Well, who's your friends?" and stuff, which comes out with probably one of the best lines in the film.
Well, a boy's best friend is his mother.
It would unsettle me enough to think if there was me and Ken had drove up to this motel and we had a room each, I would suddenly decide to stay in Ken's room. I'd be like, Ken, you're a fucking nutter, isn't he? One stays awake, one sleeps. You take first shift.
I'd definitely put the chair near the door where stop the handle.
I wouldn't have thought anything wrong. I'm just used to being with weirdos, clearly.
Well, obviously, you got me to protect you.
Or meaning you. No.
I've just opened a new hotel. Cliff Bates.
Pee-pee holes everywhere.
Oh, yeah, is that the first time he uses a pee-pee hole as well?
Yeah, she goes into a room then, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And then he uses the pee-pee hole.
The pee-pee hole?
Into the bathroom.
So he's done it before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's been well used, that pee-pee hole, hasn't it?
A well-used pee-pee hole.
Yeah. Not a pee-pee hole.
Yeah, it is. It's cool, that. Which, like the bra moment earlier on, you're thinking, oh, it's a naked lady in the shower.
Oh.
So you're kind of thinking, oh. And it kind of stays in that environment where she's taking a shower. You're thinking, this is quite a long scene in the shower. you're just thinking you're just watching a film.
No, you don't.
Thereof. You don't take any notice of it.
No, you don't suspect anything else is going to happen, do you? You're just kind of like, oh, right, she's having a shower.
And then you see, it's pretty scary, but you see a shadow. You see a shadow figure.
And you kind of presume, obviously, that it's going to be Norman, don't you? You're like, oh, here he goes. He's not happy. We're just peeping. And oh, no. Oh, no.
Do you reckon he pulled one off before he got in there?
It's like when you're a kid and you're having a shower and Cliff knocks on. He wants to take a dump.
Well, then I come in and pull one off. Yeah. Yeah, Ken, some moisturiser.
Don't flush. And then you get cold water in the shower.
Yeah.
Remember that? Does that still work, that? If you flush the toilet?
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the shower, you get cold water, don't you?
It's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? It's either you don't flush, this shower's going to stink. But if you flush, you're going to have to suffer a little bit of intense cold and then really hot.
Yeah, and then burns your skin off.
Yeah.
But going back to the film, you see that shadow, and then it all kicks off royally, which is a brilliant scene. I love this scene.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
Apparently, it took 7 days to film, with over 70 different camera angles within it. Now that is an artist. You know what I think? That's like someone saying, "I'm invested my time, and invested his bloody money into it.
Yeah,
and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it." At first, he wanted it silent, didn't he? He did want this bit of the just complete silent.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't even hear the slashes or anything. So it's like an old silent film, so you can imagine the intensity of the sound yourself. And then it was only his mate who collaborated with him on lots of stuff, who put the sound to it and got him to listen to the music. And then he felt like, it's a good compliment to put the music on. Yeah,
it makes that scene so much better.
I think the music, that part of the film is used over and over again when you talk about it. Someone says cycle, you go,
exactly,
That is.
Yeah.
And the sound of it it's almost as disturbing as watching it happen.
Yeah.
It just makes the whole thing uncomfortable to watch. Because it sounds bad.
It's uncomfortable watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the films we've seen from then to now, sort of now to then sort of thing, you all the horrors. That scene is still quite a graphic.
Because it goes on for so long, doesn't it? It's not just a quick little, oh, she stabbed, that's it. It goes on for some time. And
which it would do, because if you're stabbing someone, you wouldn't stab them once or twice, you'd go for it, wouldn't you? I don't mean...
You'd go... Jesus.
Well, the music's done by Bernard Herrmann. But the way he does the music replaces like the screams. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the thuds and the slashes you hear. And instead of stabbing her, really, he slashes her, which is even worse.
Yeah, that's the right word, isn't it? Slash.
Slash, yeah.
And then you hear it. Dun, 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 dun,
is that like supposed to be a heartbeat or something ending?
It could well be.
It's slowing down, because your heartbeat will slow down after all the blood's been...
Yeah, as it's been all pumped out.
I've noticed something with this pod today. Ken's got his A game when Lindsay's with him.
Oh.
Lindsay need to be there more.
You're impressing me, aren't you, dear?
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
That's what it is. If I could press you with Psycho.
I know I have to win her over.
Oh, yes. Yes, talk death to me.
And that scene actually wasn't filmed with Anthony Perkins in, because he was doing some theatre work in New York at the time, so that's not even him dressed up. That's a stand-in.
Oh no.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be at all. You can't really tell any other way. And even if this is the first time you've seen it, you're probably in your back of your mind going, well, "It can't be him. It's not him. Maybe it is his mother."
Straight away, you think it's not him.
You instantly think it's mother.
Oh yeah.
It's like, that's mother, that. Mother's...
That's mother, that.
Flipped to shit and not happy about Norman coming back to the house and saying, oh, what a lovely lady she is, and...
She's got a black bra. Pointer.
Pointer.
Oh, I see that bra.
Ooh. Oh, little fact for you. In the book, he actually, mother beheads her.
Oh, well, I think that would have been too graphic.
Yeah, that's...
for contents of the film.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to be pretty strong to behead someone.
Oh yeah, might have given it away a bit. Yeah, a bit of hacking involved there.
Yeah, and you'd need an axe, wouldn't you, rather than
Just says beheads her.
But can I just say, there's a brilliant scene where it's just where she's on the floor and the camera starts at her eyeball.
Oh yeah.
And it zooms out from her face. Oh, and I just love that couple of seconds there, because you kind of, secretly want her to start breathing, or maybe is there a bit of life in it. But from that eyeball, it just comes out and comes out and comes out.
Mm.
You see her face, and she must have been so tempted to breathe, or I don't know. But it's such a beautiful scene.
It's hypnotic, isn't it? You're just staring at that
eyeball.
eye. Yeah.
Imagine seeing it on cinema, and it's a giant eyeball. And you just zooming out. Oh, it's just perfect. How they did that.
It's really, really clever scene.
As Lindsay said, the next bit is when Norman's running from the house. I think he shouts something like, "Mother, what have you done?" And he's running from the steps of the house, and you see him running, and you're thinking, "Oh no, poor Norman."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Poor Norman, and he runs into the scene of the bathroom, and it's like, "Oh, bloody hell, not again." You feel sorry for the guy because he's got to start cleaning up and mopping up.
Because he looks really uncomfortable about it all, doesn't he? Genuinely like, what do I do? What do I do,
eh? So he gets his bucket and his mop and he starts cleaning up.
Oh.
It's all quite disturbing. It's a great camera shot where you just see the door of the bathroom and he's going in doing his stuff and he's all nerved about and he pulls the body out onto the shower curtain. But you don't see the body, you just see it being dragged out and dropped down. And it's just one perfect scene where he's just like doing his stuff, what he needs to do, but he doesn't. Yeah.
Again, it's like you're spying on him doing it, aren't you?
Spying again on him. Yeah. But you feel sorry for him why he's cleaning it all up.
Just mother's mess.
Mother's mess.
But that it's only really then when you think, whoa, he's done this before.
Yeah.
He's had to do this many, many times. Cause
he gets his shit together pretty quick, doesn't he? Yeah. And
it's a real shame because you've spent 45 minutes of the film really, really invested in this beautiful woman who you've become attached to is dead.
It's dead, yeah.
Mm.
Which is a first, really, in any film up to that point.
It's shocking, isn't it? You feel sorry for it.
Yeah. Also, when you think she'd also changed her mind and decided to go back and do the right thing, so you like her even more because she's doing the right thing now. She's going to have a shower, go to bed, and in the morning she's going back. No one will be any the wiser of what's gone on, so you're all for her, aren't you?
Yeah, you think she's got her shit together. I think she says something about washing away.
And that's where she goes to the shower.
Yeah.
She's trying to wash away. She seems quite happy.
Yeah,
she's smiling in the shower, isn't she?
But she's decided she's going to go back.
Oh, we've not mentioned the toilet. How can we not mention the toilet?
Yeah, first toilet
flushing
scene.
toilet.
Yeah,
I thought you know about the toilet.
Yeah, first flushing toilet or first scene of a toilet in a film.
Yeah.
At least a Hollywood film. Probably done in some weird German surreal film or something like that beforehand.
Yeah, probably. A whole film based on a toilet.
Or some Salvador Dali watching someone having a shit or something.
Well, you need the toilet there for later on because the clue is from the toilet.
Yeah, that bit of paper that she's flushing away, a bit of it is left there, isn't it?
That's the only clue.
Yeah.
Later on,
But then once he's cleaned up the body, he's got that sorted. He seems to know exactly what he's doing. What happens next?
Well, then you see the car going into the swamp.
Like he's done before, by the looks.
Yeah.
Back the car up. He needs to do that. Get the body in the boot.
But there's a great scene. You see him put the body in the boot, and then he's looking around, making sure everything's all right. And then the next scene, you see the car going slowly in the swamp. But there's a brilliant bit where the car stops sinking.
Yeah.
You see a shot on his face, thinking, "Oh shit." I wonder if it's that other car underneath that car.
Yeah, have I used this spot before?
Shit, I might have overdone it. But then it starts again. It starts sinking. Yeah. It's like bubbling. It's like I think it's thick.
Gloopy, innit?
It's like a tar or oily stuff.
Yeah. And then the camera goes back to his face and he does that like smirky smile thinking,
it's going again.
Yeah, bitches, I've done it again. Yeah, I've got away with this.
Got away. And I got a load of money as well.
Yeah, but he doesn't know.
He doesn't.
He doesn't know about that. He doesn't know about that.
Yeah, he just sees it as being, because it's all wrapped in that newspaper.
Yeah.
He just rolls the newspaper in.
But to be honest, he's not money orientated anyway, is he?
No.
And then the whole film swaps over again to where, like, more or less the beginning of the film, and the way it's filmed then is very similar to like a 1940s and 50s. You know, this is what's happening now in this part of the world, and we moved over then to.
We see Sam again then, don't we?
Yeah.
Which is good because you recognise him from the beginning, even though it's been probably like 40 minutes at this point. Yeah. It's like, oh, hang on, that's Sam. That's Sam in his warehouse. Well, not warehouse. It's his hardware store. You're thinking, oh, right, so that's Sam. That's cool. And he looks like he's hard-working kind of fella.
Yeah.
You know, but you needed someone at that point who you recognise.
Yeah.
For the story to carry on, because you just had a massive shock.
Yeah.
You need someone who you recognise, and then two new interesting characters come into it, which is her sister,
Lila.
And you can recognise it's her sister right away because she's got the blonde hair and she looks pretty similar.
Yeah, you kind of get the impression straight away who she's related to her, don't you? Yeah.
And then the story unfolds where she tells the story of that the sister's gone missing, and
that detective has followed her there, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he comes bursting in, and that character's just fantastic. He's great. Is it Arbogast? Is it? You know?
Yeah.
He's fantastic to watch. At first, you think he's a bit unsavoury, don't you? You don't really like him, but actually, you come round to him, don't you?
Yeah, it's really. I think I quite like him, Leigh. Not at first, but he kind of definitely grows on you.
Yeah.
You kind of imagine what a private investigator is like.
Yeah, it's very stereotypical.
And then Sam gets worried. He's worried that she's had an accident or...
Yeah, I think the sister's just convinced she's gone straight to Sam, hasn't she? So the fact that she's not there, then they both start panicking, which you would do.
The private investigator doesn't believe Sam, you can tell that. And he starts going around like hotels and bed and breakfasts in the area to check. That's how he ends up at Bates Motel next.
He does a Columbo one, doesn't he? He instantly knows something's not right with this Norman.
Yeah, something's not quite right.
And again, you've got a switcheroo with the what people wear, because Norman's wearing his heavy black jumper at the point when the detective's more or less quizzing him as he's giving him his hotel room, and to the point where Norman gets rattled and says, "I think that's enough. I think that's enough questions for tonight." More or less, as he hands him the key and he goes in. And the detectives just had him bang, 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 question after question.
Yeah, the detective's quite charming though, but in like a direct way, sort of thing, trying to get info. Look at this picture and stuff.
Yeah.
That's
it. I love the whole when he's looking at the the register that they sign him with, and he's showing him like, that name, and it matches this handwriting. Because he has an example of her handwriting, so he knows it's her. And it's that whole scene how it's shot where it's kind of from underneath Norman's chin and his neck, how he's looking and leaning over. And that's very childlike as well, because he's chewing his candy corn again, and he's all leaning over and he's like, oh, yeah, it does match. It's still trying to be all playing it thick with him, really, thinking he'll just believe he's a bit simple and go. And like I said, then it turns and he does kind of get a bit nasty and straightens up a bit more, doesn't he? And
it does,
he wants him gone. But I love that how it's all done. It just looks fantastic, so stylish how it's shot.
Maybe that's his defence mechanism to always act simple.
Yeah, and kind of cutesy in it,
9 times out of 10 he gets out of situations like that, but once the nerve is touched, he's a bit defensive.
Yeah, kind of changes.
Definitely, and you saw that before when she had a go, more or less, when she knows that she rattles him.
Yeah.
He just stands up, doesn't he, and just goes, whoa. Like,
you see that change in him, don't you?
Yeah, he definitely can snap. And then you've got probably one of the two iconic death scenes in this, and this one is how he created this was amazing.
Well, it's the first time you get to see the house properly, don't you? You get inside the house. The detective goes up to the house.
Well, that's on his second visit, isn't it? Because he goes back to the hardware store to tell him.
No, he rings them up.
Oh, does he? Oh, yeah, that's it. He rings them, doesn't he?
the hardware store, speaks to the sister and says, "I'm going back to Bates Motel just to have a double
Because
check."
Norman mentions that Mother kind of had weighed up the girl before she'd gone, kind of thing, didn't he? So he wants to speak to his mum, and that's why he wants to go back, because Norman wouldn't let him.
Yeah, that's true.
He kind of sends him away when he wants to see Mother. You know, that's what he kind of gets protected. It's always when Mother's brought up, he gets defensive and pushes the person away, doesn't he?
Well, you would if someone says to you, "Oh, Mother thought she was a bit odd." You'd say, "Well, I need to speak to Mother."
Or did she talk to it?
Yeah, I'll speak to your mother then, and then. But then, oh no, you can't speak to Mother because in the back of your mind, as a viewer, you're thinking, "Oh, you don't want to speak to Mother. She's a bit loopy."
Yeah, she's mental.
Yeah. But you want to see Mother though. You kind of want to see that. See Mother, him interview Mother.
So that's how like Sam and Lila know about Mother being in the house as well, you know, because he's told them, and I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna try and see Mother and talk to her. So
that's an important thing, that to mention for the private detective, to mention Mother to Sam.
Yeah, they need to know that bit, don't they?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So the detective eventually goes back to the house. Well, to the house, sorry.
Well, yeah, because he kind of he waits till Norman's kind of out of the way, doesn't he? To go back.
Oh yeah, that's it. Because the detective goes back to the motel and he sees Norman with his laundry to go to the rooms to start changing the sheets in the rooms, and he sneaks off to the house.
Yeah, and he kind of sneaks off up there. Yeah.
So you, as an audience, think Norman's doing the bedding, and the detective is at the house, and this is when you see the house properly for the first time, and it's great. I love that house.
The style of it, yeah.
But how does Norman get back from the hotel to that house that fast?
I kind of have the theory that as the detective is pulling up in his car, you can kind of see just before that Norman's looking down the road, so it's like I think he knows that he's coming, and where you kind of presume he's just going to continue changing the bedding in the rooms, he doesn't. He just goes around the side and runs straight up to the house to prepare Mother. So, like I say, you just presume he's in the rooms changing the bedding, but he's not. He's already gone up there to get ready for him. He knows exactly what he's back for. He wants to talk to Mother, and you know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but you don't think that while you're watching it.
No, you don't. It's only when you know the ending, and you watch it again many times.
And you're trying to put
you can see, you think from where he stood, he can see down the road, can't he? So he must have seen that car coming, and he would recognise it.
Yeah, you definitely recognise it.
You know, and that's what I think. He's just gone round the side. You presume
there must be a back door to the house. Well, there is a back door to the house, through the kitchen, out the stairs to Mum's room.
Yeah, he's just run straight up there.
Straight up, got changed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then
prepared mother. Yeah.
But this shot where the detective is coming up the stairs, and the camera angle is like high up, isn't it? Yeah.
Ah, right.
And you see him walking up the stairs, and you see the door, Mother's room's door, open, and this shadow coming out.
Oh yeah.
And then you starting to see the silhouette of his mum, of Mother, sorry. And then she just kind of charges out with the knife in her hand and gets him at the top of the stairs. It's brilliant.
That whole scene of him like falling down the stairs, kind of, it's great how it's done.
It is clever, and then it moves on quite rapidly there because we're more or less on the last quarter of the film now.
Yeah. It's you can feel it coming to like a conclusion at that point, I think.
Yeah, it can't just keep going.
No.
I think it just kind of emphasises there's more than one body in that swamp, and not just them, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a few. It's definitely a handful of things. So then it goes to the other two characters, Sam and
Lila.
Sam and Lila talking to each other, and then they go and see the chief of police of the area.
Yeah, like the sheriff or whatever.
The sheriff or something like that, to explain what the detective has done. And then the penny drops. And
that's when you find out that Mother died, what was it, like 20 years ago or something?
Mother's dead.
And when you find that out, it's like, what?
Like what?
It's also the music complements that point at that moment, as it adds to this the scare up your back, doesn't it? The hairs at the back of your neck literally go up at that point. you think, oh, well, who the hell is it?
Yeah, who's that? Is she really dead?
Yeah.
Is she really dead? Because you haven't fully connected to the point that it could be Norman doing everything still. You know what I mean? Part of you think, it must be him, but how the hell did he do it? He can't have done it. It's like a magician.
Yeah, you're just thinking, oh, she's faked to death 10 years or 20 years ago or something.
Yeah, how have they done that? Yeah.
How have they done that? Why has she done that? Or something. So then...
In the meantime, Norman's moving her, isn't he, into the fruit cellar or whatever downstairs. Yeah. All arguing with Mother because she doesn't want to go.
But it's the same camera shot they used to kill the detective.
All that from up above, yeah.
He's carrying her down, so you think...
She does just look a frail old woman, doesn't she, that being carried downstairs.
And they're arguing with each other as well.
Yeah, still arguing, yeah.
But then her sister starts to become Miss Marple, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's a bit snoopy, isn't she?
Yeah, we're going to the motel.
And she's snooping about, and he's talking to Norman in the office. He does kind of...
Yeah.
You can feel like he's getting a bit...
once he's spoken to him, he realises something's not quite right.
But I think Norman also realises there's something as well. Because then he's more or less finishes the conversation to go back to the house where she's there, isn't she?
Yeah, she sneaks up into the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she sees him coming through the house.
And she goes into Mother's bedroom, which is brilliant. You see like the shape on the bed where she's been.
Which is
I've always thought that's weird.
That's odd.
That's a shit mattress.
That's like one of those memory foam which is stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and there's another bit with mirrors there as well, where she sees a mirror of herself reflecting herself, and she thinks it's someone else.
Yeah, it scares us.
And I think you do as well. You panic.
You kind of jump because you think, oh God, it's Mother come to get her.
Yeah, because she's got some balls to go out there herself. She's looking.
Yeah, it's true that, yeah.
If she's looking for her sister, though, you'd do anything, wouldn't you?
No.
Well, she goes downstairs, doesn't she, to the basement then, or the cellar, or where the food larder place, doesn't she?
And she sees Mother there in a chair.
Which is a brilliant spot because the camera becomes her, doesn't it? And we become her looking at the mum. And it slowly comes out, and her hand becomes the voyeur of the audience. Her hand is us, and it turns it round to the startling realisation, oh shit, dead mum.
Oh shit, Mother's dead.
Mother's dead.
She's got empty eye sockets. It's quite gruesome. It's very gruesome.
It is a bit, yeah. And she starts screaming.
Yeah, she screams. She screams like a banshee. But then, just probably one of the best scenes ever in movie history. Norman appears dressed, and he's rushed to get dressed.
Oh yeah, his wig's off and everything.
His wig's a bit off to the side. The dress isn't on properly, and he's wielding his knife. And the manic look on his face is just superb. It's just absolutely fantastic. I love it. It's just like ready to kill her.
Exactly. He knows that to kill, he needs to be in this role.
He needs
so
to
he rushed to be in the role.
Yeah.
But then there's that manic look, and then the stupendous scream he lets out when Sam grabs him from behind.
Yeah.
And he gets grabbed from behind, and he's still screaming and shouting and reeling because whether he's still in that role or is he at that point realising what he's done?
Ah, right.
I think he's still in the role.
I think he's still in the role, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely in that role. That is Mother.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
That is Mother.
You probably heard Mother scream and shout and bawl all the time, which has infected him a lot.
I think Norman's gone by that point. I don't think you see Norman again.
Yeah, Norman isn't there anymore.
Yeah. That part of his character psychologically is just been put in a box in the back of his head. Mother's over now.
Yeah, like she's like the dominant personality now. She takes over, doesn't she? And that's it.
Yeah. That's it.
All you get is Mother.
It is.
And then instead of showing like him being fully arrested and questioned and all this, I love the way that it more or less just shows him against the wall.
Yeah, well, you get a good analysis from the psychologist.
That analysis.
It's brilliant.
Alfred Hitchcock didn't want to put in.
No, I didn't.
The backers, well, even though it was his money, Paramount wanted him to put it in. He wanted it to be left out because psychological analysis of people also move on in time. You know what I mean? You go to 1920s, everyone thinks it's some kind of Freudian thing, or Oedipus Rex theory that he would kill his father and have sex with his mum. And then the more you move on with time, psychology changes. And he didn't want it in because he wanted the people to have their own view, their own interpretation. Which I think, if you would have took that out, it's just left to you thinking more. You know what I mean? He's no rationalising it. And I think the studio wanted him to rationalise what he's done.
Maybe it's a bit more simple.
I think it needed something. It needed a little kind of summary of it, but not the big ordeal they go into. You know, it does go on for too long, that.
Oh, yes, it does. But it does explain.
He kind of talks to you like you're an idiot, having to explain every tiny bit, and you're like, no, I get it. I understand.
If you were talking to that Sam, you probably think he is a bit of an idiot.
Yeah. But I think his way over exposition of it. It could have easily just someone in passing or in that mental home where I'm not sure where he is at the end, because he's being sectioned, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like still in the cell, isn't he? Then.
Yeah, still in the cell.
It's like shows him, then it shows the psychology talking. It's like bits like that, and then they're talking over him, and then he's got his mum in his head, into his.
Yeah, I feel like
every little bit of himself is then, like you said, Ken, is more or less, and Lindsay is being taken over by mum then. And in every little bit, like the fly walking on him.
They're probably watching me. Well, let them. Let them see what kind of a person I am. I'm not even going to swat that fly. I hope they are watching. They'll see. They'll see and they'll know. And they'll say, why, she wouldn't even harm a fly.
Everything then is being worked on, and then he gives you that beautiful smile.
Oh, I love that. That look and that smile is just brilliant. He just looks a maniac. It's great.
But that's mother, though, isn't it? That's
mother smiling. That's mother smiling. Yeah, Norman is gone. That cute, lovely Norman is not there at all.
No,
at that
because
point.
he has no need to hide behind the facade and theatrical part of becoming his mother. You know what I mean? He has no need to do that anymore. Whatever he had, that part of his brain has taken over his entire person. Whether he calls that mother, it's still him. Still, you know what I mean? It's still him. It's still his mind. But that mind where he thought he would, like you said, he has to rush off and get this wig on, has gone. He's now become more powerful. They've locked him up only to make him more open to what he is.
Yeah, and that one person. Like in the book, it kind of explains it quite well of him being schizophrenic. And they say there's 3 personalities. There's child Norman, there's mother who does all the maniac stuff. But then there's like this normal Norman who kind of chooses which personality takes over at what point. So that's why you kind of get the impression that he is in control, but it's still a different personality from that childlike Norman that you do get to see in quite a lot of the scenes. But then after all this, the Norma really does come forward. You know, mother takes over, and the other 2 personalities have gone, and she's just taken over. So it's explained really well in the book. It's quite good.
It's very clever.
Very clever. A beautiful film. Amazing film put together. So it finishes the film, and then it becomes a huge box office sensation, and a million copies.
Yeah, like you said at the beginning, it's just influenced so many other films, and you know, it's great. Isn't it?
Even today, it stands out as probably one of the best psychological horrors.
Yeah.
Of cinema, really.
Yeah, because you've got to bear in mind when it came out. Yeah.
Similar or on the same of disturbance, what you get from it.
And we've watched a lot of horror films.
Watched a lot.
And then you've got the Cycle 2, 3, 4. The beginning, I think that was called. And then you've got the TV program.
The TV show is
just amazing.
Is it? I've not seen it.
Fantastic. It is amazing, yeah.
Is it finished now?
Yeah, it's finished.
But did it finish or was canned?
No, it finished.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
All right, then I might watch it.
It's brilliant. I highly recommend it. It is fantastic.
It's up there with like Sopranos for me and Sons of Anarchy.
Wow.
Well, and Breaking Bad, all them. It's in the top top 5.
And how does it go into the addressing of his abuse as well?
Everything. It covers a lot, doesn't it? You see the abuse from the mother, from Norma.
The control she has over him. Yeah.
Because if you see Psycho 4, the beginning, it's called The Beginning, where it shows him as a young child. That one's actually not bad. I liked that better than Psycho 3. There was Psycho 1, Psycho 2, which I used to wind up Ken with.
Yeah,
and I used to pretend I was the mum. I used to get a phone call from
he was on the phone, Cliff, at our house, at Mum and Dad's house. He used to say, "No, Mother, I don't want to kill him." I was only like 11.
Aww.
And he used to scare me when like Mum and Dad was out. He used to pretend to be on the phone saying, "No, Mother, I don't want to kill Ken."
Little Ken used to go running upstairs, lock himself in the room.
Yeah.
Aww. Bully.
You're
nasty.
And then, gets it right. Apparently I wound him up and he threw a bottle at me. I ducked, it went through the window.
It was only a plastic bottle.
I was going to say what glass, but
right. I think it was a Roller Cola one, right? It went
Roller Cola.
Went through the window, right? And then Mum was like, "Wait till your dad gets home." To be honest, he didn't go nuts, which I was happy with. He just went, "Oh right, what happened?" When they heard what happened, he says, "Why did you duck then?" I've had no head.
Oh.
Would have bounced off that big head of yours.
Nasty. Well, yeah. But still nasty.
I can't believe he ducked. It's not usually that fast.
Yeah, we had no pocket money for like a year for that.
Yeah.
Right, so out of that, we've had the production, we've had the story, we've had what was the influence behind it. We had Alfred Hitchcock, oh, by the way, he does turn up in this film as well.
Yeah, he does.
Do you
Near the beginning.
Right
Near the
beginning.
Yeah.
He's outside as she walks through the door.
Yeah.
Can't miss him. Takes up half the screen anyway, doesn't it? So he...
Bitchy.
We've also realised that they really wanted to capitalise on the money, so they did a Cycle 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a TV show. Well, we've come to the end of the pod, and I must say thank you very, very much for Ken Shepherd and Lindsay Shepherd too.
Yay!
Trio of shepherds on the
Oh, yeah.
pod.
That's the first time I had a trio of shepherds.
Yeah.
Trio of shepherds. Oh.
Anyway, so say goodbye to Ken and say bye to Lindsay. Bye-bye.
Bye.